Hi, it's Jenny with Jenny's Wreath Boutique, and in this video we're going to be making a gorgeous winter wreath. Welcome to our winter wreathathon. Thank you so much to Nadia for hosting. And after you're done watching this, make sure you go watch everybody else's wreath tutorials. We're all making winter wreaths and we're all a little bit different, so that'll be fun. Everything I'm using in this wreath, I actually have a link for it. I will have one link in the description for you where you can grab everything. It's all from Michaels. I'm also using hot glue and a hot glue gun. My favorite wire cutters. These are linked under tools in the description of every one of my videos. And I'm starting with a 14-inch grapevine. And look how nice this one is. This wreath is going to be about 23, 24 inches wide, so a pretty good size, even though it's on a 14-inch grapevine. It's going to be perfect for a front door. And I love this wintry mix. You might recognize some of these materials from my favorite Christmas items to get at Michaels. I did point out some of these. I will link that video in the description as well. So this wreath was inspired by this bush from Michaels. I just love it because it has such a fun mix. It's got these gorgeous frosty sparkly pine cones, some twigs, eucalyptus, and evergreens. It's so gorgeous for winter. So you can use this for Christmas, but also all through winter. Isn't that gorgeous? Doesn't it just make you feel cold? But it's so pretty. And then I also have this flocked cedar. It's a really soft color and it just really complements this so much. It's a great filler. And then I also have some seeded eucalyptus to add some more interest. We have another eucalyptus. It's frosted, and then these snowy white berries to add a little pop of interest, which I love. The first thing we're going to do is create a greenery base by adding one layer of greenery at a time around the wreath. I'm going to start with this one. It's a nice neutral filler. So the longer stems I cut in half and the shorter ones I left as is. I have so much greenery here. I want this wreath to be really big. So I'm just going to add some glue to the stem and add it along the grain of the grapevine, just like that. We'll have some sticking outside and some sticking inside. And we just go all the way around the wreath. Now we're going to add our next greenery bush, the seeded eucalyptus. And once again, we're going to cut the longer pieces in half and leave the shorter pieces as they are. This one kind of cuts nicely right down the middle. And we're just going to add this around the wreath, filling in the gaps. All right, this is what we have so far. I know it looks very sparse, but now we're gonna add in our gorgeous main mix. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna separate these into chunks. So here's a chunk. They're kind of naturally like this. And here's a tip for you if your pieces aren't staying together. Take some bind wire. I got this off Amazon. I will link it with everything else. And see how the stems are kind of paper wrapped? Just take your bind wire and wrap it around the outside of everything, and it's nice, it's brown, so it really blends in with the stem. And that will just help hold everything together. You could separate out each piece individually, but this is a faster way of doing it. Now we're just going to add these along the wreath. I have 8 stems total, 8 bundles. So we're going to glue all the way up. So now our bind wire is nice and glued along with the stem. And you just stick that into the grapevine. You kind of mix it in and pull it apart a little bit so it looks nice with the rest of the wreath. Looking so good so far. Now we're going to add in our larger eucalyptus pieces, the white berries. And these I am taking apart. So these are all going to be individual pieces. I'm just going to divide these into a pile of white berries and a pile of eucalyptus. I love these. These are so nice. Okay, so since I have the most eucalyptus leaves, I'm just going to scatter these around the wreath. It's going to make our wreath a little bit larger in diameter and just add a beautiful texture. And last but not least, we have our white berries. Ideally, I would like to have 5, but we have 4, and that's okay. I prefer to have odd numbers. I am going to add a little bit more white berries because I don't like having 4 because it makes your eye look in a square shape, and the wreath is round. And that's not a huge deal, but you can kind of see the square there. So Michael's has these other berries that are snowy. I love them. I actually have some, so I'm going to add those in here too. Aren't they so pretty? They just fit perfectly with this wreath. And I'm just going to tuck them in. They're not going to be prevalent. Another thing you could do is you could cut these into 2. So each stem would have 2 instead of 3, and then you could even it out more as well. If you have 5 or more, I don't think it matters if it's odd or even, but if you have under 5, you should either have 3 or 5. And I will link these as well. Michael's has them again, and I'm so happy about it because they're so pretty. Okay, here it is. Wow, that is a gorgeous wreath. What do you think? Oh my goodness, how perfect is this for winter? And it's big. I measure a wreath leaf tip to leaf tip. So this wreath is actually 25 inches. You could get away with saying it's even more, 26 or 27. All probably listed in my shop as 25. So pretty. I love it. All right, if you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that yet. And go watch everybody else's wreath tutorials for this winter wreathathon. And don't forget to have all of these things linked in the description in the video. All right, bye.